and welcome to episode 227 of Board Game Blitz, a podcast about all things board games that you can listen to in less time than it takes to wait for your school district's name to scroll by on the news's list of snow day school cancellations. Okay, yeah, I know this isn't a thing anymore, but still. Board Game Blitz is sponsored by Gray Fox Games. This week, we're talking about our 2024 goals. First, we discuss a couple games we've played recently, Bomb Busters and Gussy Gorillas. Then, we talk about how well we did in completing the goals we set for ourselves last year. And now, here are your hosts,
Ambie
and Crystal.
Recently, I played Bomb Busters, which is my favorite game of 2024. Spoilers. For a future Blitzies episode, but
that's exciting to know.
Bomb Busters, published in 2024, designed by Hisashi Hayashi, published by Pegasus Spiel. This is a cooperative deduction game, kind of Hanabi feeling. It has communication limits, cooperative deduction. So like just hearing about it, I knew it was going to be my favorite game of 2024. So I've been waiting to like get a copy and play it. So we bought a copy last month or something. And we played through 11 missions, it looks like.
Nice.
Okay. Well, actually, we skipped some of the first tutorial missions because they're easy. And they're just basically like doing the rules one step at a time for each mission. But anyways, it's a mission-based cooperative game. And the theme is you are like cutting bomb wires. So you have a hand of tiles. You have these little tile racks and these cardboard tiles that have different numbers and colored wires. So most of them are blue. There are some that are yellow. And then there's one or more that are red. And you don't want to cut the red wires because you're like diffusing bombs and the red wire is bad to cut until the end. So basically the mechanics are kind of like a cooperative Go Fish. You're trying to pair the numbers. So all the blue numbers are like numbers 2 through 12 and there's 4 of each. And so you're trying to ask someone like, is that number a 3? And if it's yes, then you can show them your 3 and you pair it and that you cut the wire. The yellow numbers are like 3.1 or 4.1 or something, and then the bombs are like 3.5 or 4.5. So you're gonna have your tray in order, so people will know like if your third one is a 1, then you know like all the ones before that are also 1s. And so like at the beginning, everyone's gonna be giving a clue of like this is a number 7 or something. Like you say a number of one tile on your rack. Everyone gets one clue at the beginning, and that's it. And then the rest of the game, you're just guessing people's wires. And if you guess wrong, then you lose a life, but they also can tell you what that wire was. But if you guess wrong on a red, then you just lose the game because you don't want to cut that red. So like your guesses can kind of be clues too, because you can kind of guess like, oh, I know this isn't a red, but I'm not quite sure if this is a 6 or a 7. So I'm guessing this is a 7. And you can only guess it's a 7 if you also have a 7. So you're kind of like cluing to other people that I have this number, but also if you get it wrong, then they'll reveal what it is. And so that gives information. So like you do want to get them right, because you don't want to run out of lives, but like thinking about what guesses to do is kind of like thinking about clues. So it has like that Hanabi feel of like giving clues to people, but it feels like there's less conventions. Like, you know how in Hanabi, like everyone has like convention, like, oh, this is how you do it. So like, yeah, I really like it. And each mission has different setup scenarios and stuff. And after you complete like the training scenarios, you open a box and there's stickers, and like a legacy type game, you use sticker, add rules to the rule book, and it adds more things, which I think is fun, but I'm not going to spoil what exactly it is. So yeah, there's 66 missions, I think, in total.
That's a lot of missions.
The game comes with this little like standee that says like, you're not going to use this until the 66th mission. But it's just like a little standee of one of the characters, but it's just only for the
very last mission. Yeah. That's great. I love it.
Yeah, and then it has boxes for like sets of 10 missions or something. So we've opened one box so far. I'm excited to open more, and like, yeah, it's fun. It works really well. I like the feel of, like, if you like Hanabi type games, cooperative deduction, limited communication type games, like this is definitely up there, like with the Hanabi feel, but it's got like mission based. So it's like Hanabi mixed with the Krug type thing. Oh, and also like there's special powers too. So you can like use special powers. You can unlock the special powers to use them throughout the game. So it's not just the clues giving, and there's more rules that get added, do different things and stuff. So yeah, I really like Bomb Busters. It's got a lot of that deduction and thinking about like, why did they do that? What clue are they giving? And so yeah, I really like Bomb Busters. My favorite game of 2024.
That's awesome. Well, now I definitely want to play it. And what's funny is the game that I'm talking about today also is a game that has some stuff in it that I think you will like and bears a little bit of a similarity to Hanabi, interestingly enough.
Ooh.
So the game I'm talking about today is Gussy Gorillas, which came out in 2023 from Bitewing Games, designed by Nick Murray. Gussy Gorillas is a real-time card trading game where, similarly to Hanabi, this is the only similarity, your cards in your hand face out away from you and you cannot see them. So in the game, players each have their own deck of cards in front of them that they will be drawing from, and like I said, you'll draw so you can't see the card that's in front of you. And when the round starts, everything happens in real time, and the point of the game basically is you are gorillas who are grooming each other and gussying each other up, and you want to have the most diverse assortment of accoutrement, basically. You want to be gussied up the fanciest, and so you want different types of being gussied up, and you want lots of points, essentially. But, you know, they're, whatever. So everybody puts their card up, you say go, and then you can offer to trade with any of the other players at the table. You can see what they have, you can't see what you have. And the cards are not just all plain old numbers, of course, because that would obviously be a little bit boring. So in addition to having numbers on them, there are some special cards in the deck, and some of the numerical cards have special rules that apply to them. So some of the numbers are flippable, and there are flip cards in the deck. So, for instance, a 2 is flippable to a 7, and a 7 is flippable to a 2, based on the way the characters, the numbers are written. If, at the end of a round, you have a flip card in your possession, and a card that can be flipped, you have to use it. You also have a reverse card that you could theoretically pick up from somebody. That will make a positive number negative, or a negative number positive. So that could affect things in very dramatic ways. You also have a split card. The split card is very powerful because, like cards, cancel out one another. So if you get 2 of the same card, they cancel each other out. But if you get a split card, it acts as a pair of scissors and will split those cards apart. So if you get 2 4s, they negate one another. But if you get a split, now you can count them both. Oh, and a pair of 1s doesn't cancel each other out. It counts as an 11. So it's like
that's
a whole
how
bunch.
math works.
Yes. So it's one of those games where everything is technically very simple to understand, but in the context of real-time fast trading and you looking at what because you get to see the stuff after you've acquired it and put it down in front of you, but you're still trying to trade in real time, and you're trying to figure out, okay, I have a flip, which one can I can flip that one, oh god, no, now I have a pair of those, I need a split card, and you're just like freaking out the whole time, basically, like any real-time game. That's basically it. At the end of the round, I think whoever has the most points gets a banana token, and then whoever gets 2 banana tokens first will win the game after multiple rounds. There are some more complex cards, they're called rare cards in the deck. I have not played with those, so I can't speak to them. But even just the basics were really fun. Like, it was kind of lovely. And it's funny, if you put your card up and nobody wants it, then you know it's probably a bad one. So you can actually pick up a second card from your deck and offer 2 cards at the same time to kind of sweeten the deal. Also, you are allowed to take your own card into your collection if you so choose. Now, you don't know what it is, but like if you pull a card up and everybody at the table's like, ooh, Crystal, I'll trade with you. Like, you can be like, yoink, I'm taking this one. So it's interesting because when you first play it, everything you do, you kind of do very obviously just because you're learning. But I think as you play it more and more, you learn to be a little sneakier about, oh, well, your card's okay. I guess I'd take it when it's really good, because you don't want them to put it down in front of themselves. So it's one of those games that very simple, could be played with kids at its basic level, but then, there's also a little more strategy to it if you really want there to be. So Gussy Gorillas. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I don't see me getting this one to the table often because, as you would expect, its higher player counts are where this one shines. The full player count says it goes from 3 to 10. I would not play this with 3 people. I think that would be miserable, truly. Community says 4 to 10, best at 5 to 8, and I would say that's probably correct. At 10 people, the table would have to be really large and unwieldy. I would say, yeah, like 6 to 8 people would probably be the sweet spot where you've got enough people to make trades all the time, but not so many that it's completely impossible to keep up with. That's Gussy Gorillas.
That seems like more complicated. Like the real time with all this weird scoring is like a more complicated pit or something.
It's weird because it's simple technically. Like, oh, these numbers can flip over to the other number and you split pairs and whatever else. But in the moment, you all of a sudden the round ends and you look down and you're like, oh no, what have I done?
Yeah, when you have like all those simple rules, but you add real time on it, it's not simple anymore.
It's not simple anymore. Yeah. Well, Ambie, 1-ish year ago, we kind of set ourselves some goals for the year 2024. And you suggested that we follow up on those and see how we did. So let's do that.
Yeah, because like people always set goals, but like, do they follow up on them? Do they like
the answer
evaluate?
Is no, most of the time.
Last year, January 8th, 2024, we actually on our Ko-fi page, they had these like monthly Ko-fi challenges. And one of them was to set goals for the year. So that's what we did on our page. We wrote down, how many goals did we have? 7 goals.
That's a good number of
we didn't have a goal for a number of goals, but
yeah, no.
We're just gonna like go through and see how we did.
Yeah, and what our thoughts are, I guess, on
and see if we have any goals for this year.
Yeah. So, what was our first goal on the list?
First goal was participate in the Ko-fi monthly challenges.
Hey, there it is. This is one of them.
Yeah, so we completed that like when I wrote the goals down because. But I also did other ones throughout the year. They had monthly challenges, and so I would do the ones that were doable for me, I think. So yeah, we did that.
That's awesome. Yeah, I didn't do any others, I don't think. But you manage our Ko-fi page, so I like that they do the monthly challenges, and I know that they engage with people on social media as well. I like that Ko-fi feels like it's connected to its creators a little bit more than some other platforms, and I like that. It feels nice and homey.
Yeah. So what was our second goal?
All right, so our next goal was we said we were going to record content together at a convention, and we did!
Yeah. When we made this goal, we were already planning to record.
Don't tell them that. That's cheating, man.
We only make goals that we know we're going to complete.
No, that's not true. And the later on in the list, it will be evident that that's not true. Yeah. So here's the thing, though. It was our goal to record, but we never know what's going to happen. There have been times that we planned to record at a convention and it didn't happen. So technically,
we only had the one convention that. So, like, if we didn't make it, then...
That was it. Because that's the only convention... that's the only convention I went to last year was Dice Tower West. And you went to that in Kubla Khan, right? I think?
Kubla Khan, yeah. Which is my local convention.
You went to more conventions last year than I did, Ambie.
Yeah. But, so we were planning to just do, like, a regular podcast there and meet and, like, just talk a podcast. But then we ended up playing a Jubensha together and recording the video of the Jubensha and also a podcast of our, like, a recap of the Jubensha. So that was neat.
Yeah, it was not something that, we had originally planned on, but in like the 2 weeks leading up to the convention, I had found a Discord community and a subreddit dedicated to Jubensha where they were posting that they were going to this group was going to be at Dice Tower West running tests of their newest Jubensha game. And I was like, yes, please. So we recorded, basically I propped my phone up on a tripod and put no thought behind it whatsoever, just kind of as I really do wish that we had more thoughtfully recorded the session because
we don't have like that much portable recording equipment.
Yeah,
so.
We don't, because it's not something we do often enough to really invest in. But I do wish that we could kind of show people more of the like stuff that happened away from the table in our Jubensha session. Yeah, the little side conversations.
We also didn't know that that's how it was like that we were going to be off on that side and stuff. So we wouldn't have known to like prepare a recording there.
That is fair. So yeah, we didn't really know how Jubensha was going to work, or that particular Jubensha was going to work. But if you are interested in the idea of Jubensha, or you have no idea what we're talking about, we did an episode where we talked about what Jubensha is a while back. You can look that up, or you can just go to our YouTube channel. Ambie uploaded an edited version of our playthrough of the Jubensha that we did, and that will also give you an idea of what it is, because you get to see it itself. But yeah, interviewing the people who created it was really fascinating too.
Yep. So 2 for 2 on our goals.
Yeah. All right. What was next?
Next was our updated top 100 list, which was...
We did!
Yeah, we did. We did it.
I did
for
too!
Our, we published our top 10 for the anniversary episode, but you did your whole top 100 too?
Yeah.
Like,
I don't think I ever put it anywhere. I should maybe post it on the website or something. Like, I do have, actually, I think I have like my top 120 or 30, because I had more games, and then obviously when I was ranking things, but I don't think I ever published it. But Ambie, I showed it to her. She knows it exists. I did it. But yeah, that was what created the jaw-dropping moment of Ambie hearing that Battlestar Galactica was my number 9, I think. Like, literal mouth falling open. That was a shake-up, to say the least.
Yep.
All right, so next on the list was try to get one piece of content to go viral. I mean, technically any piece of content can go viral at any time, so I guess trying to go viral is kind of... It's a fool's errand, right, to really try. But we've been making a little bit more content on TikTok over the past year, just in time for it to possibly be banned here in the United States. We're so trendy. It's funny, I personally have been using TikTok for like 5 years now, but of course, we finally decide to start using it as a podcast, and then it's like, boop, bye. So... yeah, I don't think we've gone viral anywhere. Although some of your music parodies in the past have gotten a lot of traction, but not like the podcast stuff.
Yeah, it's hard to go viral.
It is. It's very hard.
Next is kind of related to try out YouTube Shorts. So yeah, like that and TikTok. We've been putting like podcast clips. Since we started doing the podcast, we have video now. And so I've been like making podcast clips of YouTube short clips of the podcast for YouTube Shorts and for TikTok. And that works well. But when I wrote the goal, I was like initially thinking of other ideas. Like I had some ideas for funny videos for YouTube Shorts on like our regular YouTube channel, because we have a separate podcast YouTube channel. And so like right now, the podcast shorts are with the podcast YouTube channel, because that makes sense. But like I was thinking of some funny clips that I have ideas for, I just haven't done them. So I don't know. I mean, we did YouTube Shorts in a different way than I was originally thinking. And I did do some YouTube Shorts for the regular YouTube channel, just not like specific ones that I was thinking of. That's like, I think it's maybe.
That's something that we can keep working toward.
Yeah.
And to that end, a goal that you mostly set for yourself was that you also wanted to just focus on making better YouTube videos in general. And this is more like, I feel like you make really good videos, and you just, always want to be learning and improving. And so your goal specifically said you wanted to focus on making more videos that you're excited for and proud of, rather than sticking to a schedule and just trying to post a bunch of videos, which I think is really noble, because whenever you're a content creator in this world, the algorithm likes to be fed in most areas. And if you're not feeding it, then it doesn't work. And do you prioritize volume of content over quality? And some creators can do both, and God bless them, but it's usually those people have a large team of people behind them making that happen. They're not, two ladies on the west side of the United States who do other things with their lives in addition to podcasting.
Yeah. I did end up like also trying to keep to this schedule too, somewhat once a week. So like I think at the beginning of the year I kind of did some just whenever, but then I went back to kind of once a week. So I'm trying to do both. Obviously can't do more than once a week. That would be too much. Yeah. But I did do some of the YouTube videos I'd been thinking about, and I've thought of more too that I want to make. So Yay.
Well, thankfully, we've got all the time in the world ahead of us. All right, so what was our last goal?
Yeah, our last goal was play old favorite board games. So a lot of times when we are like on a board game podcast, we play new games and get like review copies of new games. So we're not playing the old favorites as much. So it's hard to get those to the table sometimes. Also, like our friends want to play the new games. They get excited. They bring new games. And like, everyone's excited about the new games to try. So yeah, we wanted to play some of our old favorites. It always feels like we don't play those. But I actually looked. I did a mid-year update of our goals. During that mid-year update, I had said that I had just played Ghost Stories, which is an old favorite, and so that was cool. And Crystal had just played Mousetrap, which is a very old favorite.
Well, the story behind that one was funny because as basically like a joke gift, I sent my sister, there's these like teeny tiny versions of board games that you can buy online, and they're technically functional.
Oh, yeah. You did
and I say that with
a
a quote around it because functional means it's shaky depending on the game. But I sent her a miniature functional Mousetrap game. Mm-hmm. And of course, her boys, saw, yay, a toy, and they wanted to play with it. And they were actually trying to play the board game Mousetrap with this teeny tiny version of Mousetrap. And so my sister, of course, was like, okay, I'm going to buy you the real version of Mousetrap. And then that was when they started playing Mousetrap all the time. And then that was how I got them to play CoraQuest for the first time, is I was able to go over and say, hey, you guys like Mousetrap a lot. Do you want to play another board game that's about like adventures and, like cool bad guys and swords and stuff? And they play CoraQuest all the time now. I've gotten them more board games thanks to your recommendations, Ambie. Yay! I got them Outfoxed and, oh gosh, what was the other one I picked up? I can't remember now, but... So that's kind of a little bit of a tangent from the goal, but I also, another old favorite that I played this year was Broom Service, and it holds up, of course, just as well as it always has. It's so good every time. There's a reason that game won the Kennerspiel in, oh my gosh, was it 2015? Is that game 10 years old now? I feel like it was 2015 that game won the Kenner. I'm not looking it up. I refuse. I don't want to. But there's a reason it won the Kennerspiel. It is a really solid game, and every time I play it, I think, why don't I play this more often? Because it's just so good. And we had the moment, for anybody who has played Broom Service before, we had that moment where when we had the event card come up where you have to bid an amount of resources for a thing, all 4 players, we all bid one single resource. And so I even took a picture of all 4 of our hands over the board holding our little potion bottles or whatever. It was just so fun. And yeah, that's why playing old favorites is really great. So I would like to challenge our listeners. Next time you have a board game day or an opportunity to pull some games off the shelf, pause for a moment and look at those games that you love that you haven't touched in a while, and maybe pull one of those off the shelf, because, man, it can be really fulfilling to grab one of those and play them again.
Yeah.
Also, it's fun not to have to relearn, or to have to learn an entire set of rules from scratch.
Yeah. Although if it's, super old favorite, you might still have to relearn the rules.
Well, that's true. And even for Broom Service, I think 3 out of the 4 of us had played it before, but it had been a while for all of us. But it was one of those things where all we needed to do was pull out the rule book and
yeah, you get a refresher.
Right? We needed to be okay, how do you do that? Oh yeah, I remember this. Okay, how do you do that thing? Okay, what do the things on the back of the rain clouds mean? Yeah, just little bits and pieces. It's still way easier than teaching a game from scratch, so.
Yeah. For me, I don't play that many heavy games. I don't have time for those anymore. So, old favorites, I got to play Decrypto and Hanabi, those a couple times. I played Flashpoint with my kids. So that one, I think I had to reread the whole rule book, but that was fun. But I'm looking at my stats. I played 169 different games and 97 were new to me. So I still more than half were new to me, which is a lot.
Truthfully, the majority of my gaming in 2024 happened online. I'm still doing a lot of gaming on Board Game Arena. I'm actually clicking through right now to see if I can... Ooh, I can do by date, yes. So I'm going to look real quick. I played 320 tables, basically. Some of these were in tournaments and some of them were not. Oh, if it comes to old favorites, I played Castles of Burgundy 12 times. So that's definitely an old favorite favorite, but a lot of these are relatively newer games. River Valley Glassworks, Challengers, Seven Wonders Duel, Draft and Write Records is a new favorite of mine, The Great Split. I'm looking, Space, I would say, is starting to get into that realm of old favorite. It's been around a little bit now, but Cacao? I think Cacao would count.
Yeah. So, yes, we did that goal.
We did it!
Yeah. I think we got all our goals then, right? Except for the viral.
We didn't go viral.
Tried. It was try,
we did
not
try.
succeed.
Yeah, I mean, you can't, because you cannot have the goal be go viral, because, like, you can't,
but, like, how did we try? We try with everything. You just make content and we try to go viral.
I mean, I think by saying silly things every time we record and then allowing you to upload those things to TikTok, that's me trying to go viral.
All right, so, yeah, okay. So we did all of our goals. Yay!
Yay! All right, well, listeners, tell us what your goals or resolutions for this year are, or how you did on your resolutions from last year, or what old favorite games you might be pulling off your shelf in the near future. Hit us up on social media or in the Blitz Discord, which again, if you aren't a member of the Discord yet, it's the best community ever. And I'm not saying that because I built it. I'm saying because the people in it are just awesome. It's not me, it's them. So yeah, come hang out with us, play games with us, and talk about games with us because it's awesome.
And that's it for this week's Board Game Blitz. Visit our website, boardgameblitz.com, for more content and links. This episode was sponsored by Grey Fox Games, coming to Kickstarter soon, the Champions of Midgard 10th Anniversary Collector's Edition, featuring all new art, upgraded dice and components, all previously released promos, and a brand new solo mode designed by David Tursi. And with the new year, Grey Fox is offering Blitzketeers like you an amazing new promotion. Shop at greyfoxgames.com and get 10% off your entire order, including exclusives, when you use the code BLITZ10 at checkout. Join the Blitzketeer community on Discord for game nights, discussions, and more by following the link in the show notes. Support the show by leaving us a rating and review on your podcast provider. And if you like us a lot and want to support us monetarily and get some cool perks, check out our Ko-fi at ko-fi.com/boardgameblitz today. Our theme song was composed by Andrew Morrow. Until next time, all my points crumble to the ground, though I refuse to see. Dust in the wind. All they are is dust in the wind. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Making podcast clips of YouTube short clips of the podcast for YouTube Shorts